Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another day on Wednesday of league racing action from RTG. We're on the third round now of this season, and I think it's the first round on both days that me and Lee commentate on under the lights. And we're here at the Abu Dhabi circuit, the Yas Marina International Circuit, and we should surely have a really interesting race with this track being reprofiled a couple of years ago to try and aim for better racing. We have 20 drivers in this race. Just before the stream started, though, Phil got himself disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. So we've only got 19 now for this full qualifying session. We're a few minutes into the session already. We have the first lap time on the board with Proddy there. So we've got 16 turns around this Abu Dhabi circuit and 5.281 kilometres in length, 3.281 miles in length. So it's a decent size circuit. As I just said, we've got the 20 drivers with the full qualifying session. We'll knock out the bottom 5, which one of them has already done that to themselves, unfortunately, and then we've got the other 4, and then the 5 for Q2 with a 15-minute session, and then we have the shootout for the top 10 in Q3 for 12 minutes as Tej goes goes across the line for a 1:25.0, and then a 1:24.7 for Swanee. So times already improving. And just so you know, Short Marcus, the driver in 7th on the leaderboard at the moment, is leading the championship with 47 points, 40 points for Chuck in 2nd. His brother Chuckle is in 3rd with 33 points. Josh is on 29 points, AJ Baker 23, and that is your top 5. Williams are leading the championship in the constructors by 74 points, and behind them is Alfa Romeo on 53 points. I'd like to say apologies for a couple of things. One, the highlights video for yesterday and today. My car actually broke down early on, so I've been really busy today. Trying to get myself back home, and the quality of the video from Moments of the Week last week, not sure why that happened, but I don't think it will happen again for this week, so apologies for the quality from last week. I'll try and improve that for this week's event. So, hello Lee, you alright?
Yeah, here. Sorry, I was just getting some data and that up there. Yeah. Sorry, just brain just farted.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm seeing Josh McGill, he's just coming around, just finish a lap. See where he's going to go. Quickest. 1:24.4.
Yeah, so saying at the very start, Lee, with this track being reprofiled, it has made it a quicker lap time than it used to be now.
Oh yeah, definitely. With the chicane at, what was it, turn 4?
5, yeah, 4, 5, something like that, yeah. I think it was 5 and 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the chicane at the end of the second DRS straight, which I always hated.
It was quite good for overtaking, though. I think more so than it is now.
True.
Would you agree? No? Yeah? No?
Yeah. I mean,
it was clumsy. It was clumsy when you're on your own, but for like late braking, it was really good, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I would say now I always find it hard, like, on the exit of the corner. Now, I just kind of find the right momentum, pretty much. So,
I'm not sure why it was a 3-part chicane. It might have been better if it was only a 2-part, and then just the left-hander that was always there. But it's definitely more flowing in that final sector now than it used to be. Much more fun, actually, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with this penultimate corner of turn 15, where it's flat now, but especially in the race, it's quite challenging. You can do it flat, but it becomes a bit of a handful the more into your stint that you go. What are you going? Oh, that. Oh, is that? Oh, is that Mad Max? Yeah.
Well, he will be a bit mad there that he's just messed up his lap. He'll have to be going again.
He will. I think Chuck's just about to finish a lap. The man second in the championship at the moment in that Scuderia, and he's on top at the start of Q1, or in the middle of Q1, should I say. But he's a couple of tenths clear. And we've got a couple of other drivers on the lap.
I just realised the time between Josh McGill and Bugatti Sloven. That's
yeah.
about 1,000ths of a second.
Yeah. Yeah. And fair play, I've watched back the race. I wasn't able... It's funny, I'm such a hardcore F1 fan. I can't stand if I've got my Sunday free not to watch the race, but I decided at the weekend to go to Alton Towers instead, because it was the Monaco Grand Prix, and the Monaco Grand Prix is usually pretty boring, and it's usually a waste of my Sunday. And I somehow seem to have missed one of the best races for chaos. But yeah, that race on Sunday was pretty impressive, to be fair. I haven't watched the whole thing, I've just watched sort of an extended highlights of it, but like the Channel 4 highlights, basically. But it was a decent race.
Oh, I'm not joking. I was praying for Alonso to get that win. But unfortunately...
Messed up his strategy, didn't he?
Messed up the strategy, yep.
Mm-hmm. I did wonder, because I was in a queue for a ride called the Wicker Man, and we were just before going in, because you had this like pre-show thing, like where, you know, they closed the doors, and there was just like a little video that came up. And we were just about to go into there, and my internet wasn't very good, but someone we were with, he had 5G, and I was like, let me sync to your phone. And we literally watched the first lap of the race just before we went into the room. so we watched the first lap on my phone, and then when I was waiting in the queue a little later on, because I was still struggling with my signal, and we split up into a couple of groups. As AJ Baker crossed the line, do the 1:24 dead, so time's certainly getting quicker. I caught it at about lap 62, and I saw that Verstappen was like 22 seconds in the lead or something. And I was like, and obviously in that point I was like, oh, it's raining, but I only saw it for like 30 seconds. I was like, kind of glad I missed that one. And then I got home and was like, oh, no, that was more different than I thought it was.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was just gutting how, like, Alonso was catching him near the end of his stint, but that rain just came at the wrong time, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they've still got Hungary, where they'll have a chance to
access your Spotify data to do this.
Shut up, Siri.
Okay, I won't.
Yeah, thank you. Apologies for that. It's never happened. The whole time I've ever commentated with the iPad there, that has never happened once. Yeah, Hungary, probably a track that they could win at.
Possibly.
Very similar to Monaco, though, isn't it? It's the closest.
I mean,
maybe Mexico as well. Maybe.
It has got the straight line.
Yeah, but remember, it's really high up, so they have to put full downforce on the cars.
Yeah, fair point, actually. Possibly then.
Maybe Qatar, maybe?
I'm unsure of what that track looks like, to be honest.
It's
pointless describing it to me.
No, I know. It does have like similarities to Bahrain, I guess, but it's more twisty. It's got the long start-finish straight, and it goes into kind of a 90-degree, but it's much wider hairpin, and then it has another like straight. It has like a little kink, but it's much more dramatic than the one at Bahrain. You know, between turns 2 and 3. And then it has a little straight, but then it's all sort of very windy in the middle sector with no straight in the middle. So the first sector is quite quick, and then I think the last 2 sectors are very much high downforce, twisty circuit. So maybe. I just hope we see 2 or 3 teams win this year. Please. I just don't want to. I know there's a lot of Red Bull fans, but yeah. I said this last week. It's already starting to get boring.
Yeah. I agree. It's just... it's annoying, to be honest, just how dominant they are right now.
It's like Bundesliga football with Bayern Munich. They just win everything. Like Man City, I suppose. They're going for the Triple Crown, aren't they?
Yeah, well...
We've got the FA Cup soon. We've got the Champions League final.
No idea. No fan of football. Well, in that respect.
Yeah. Wrong sport anyway, Joe. Wrong sport. So... I think we've got Chuckle on a lap, as well as short markers actually. So the driver that's leading the championship, the driver in third, driver third in the championship, both at the bottom end of the order. Now short markers moves up to 6th place. Chuckle crosses the line, moves up to 2nd.
So,
As Inets crosses the line, he's down on his time, and I'm not sure if he has got the fuel on board, so he's got time to go again. But Inex is certainly on qualifying performance. He's been struggling, I think, this season.
he's on 4-lap old soft tyres, so I don't think he's going to have time to get back on the pits, is he?
No, 3 minutes. No way. His two drivers gets out of the way. He's not on a lap though, but you certainly noticed now. I know it was a long time ago. It's almost old news, but since they changed the colour of that Red Bull, 'cause it was not the right colour before. I'm still getting used to the fact they changed the colour, and of course, Lee, we've only got what two weeks or so until F123.
Yeah, a bit up. Just over 2 weeks. This is what, the 16th it comes out?
Yeah. So it's first tomorrow, isn't it? So 2 weeks and 2 days.
Can't wait.
Not long. Well, a lot of content creators have been raving about it this time, and it feels like it's genuine rave about it.
It's meant to be a lot better than this version, to be honest.
Well, I definitely think that F1 2020, 2019 were probably the best F1 games of the Codemasters. I know that Codemasters are still involved, obviously, so it's still the Codemasters era. But I think probably 2020 was probably the best for me. It was a really good game.
Unsure. I can't remember.
It was the game that had the Vietnam track in it, even though the Vietnam track was not very good.
Ah.
Feel sorry for Codemasters on that one. Making this whole track and then it didn't look like the most exciting circuit though, did it? And I know
It would be good to at least see it once.
I know. I'm getting kind of sick of all these street circuits as well.
Yeah, I mean, what was the calendar now nearly?
Well, I think every race, apart from Bahrain, it's been, and yeah, because we didn't have Imola, so apart from Bahrain, they've all been street circuits this season so far.
Jeez.
Obviously, we were supposed to have Imola, but we didn't. And then we got Spain this week, so then there's a change of pace there. I'm not sure what we got after Spain. I think it might be like Austria. I think. Not sure. As we're watching Aki, needs to improve on his time. Looks like he's going to do that. Looks like a pretty decent run this time. It was 1:24.444. As we got Royal Rumble. Inex is on an outlap, but he has nowhere near enough time to get a lap in. We've got Royal Rumble crossing the line now. He's out in qualifying. Mad Max, the only one that can save himself. He's 2 tenths up as it stands, but not good enough And he's out in Q1. I believe Lee Inexo's been out in Q1 every single race in Wednesday so far this season.
I'm not sure entirely, but that is unfortunate for him. Same with Royal Rumble Teachman, Mad Max and Phil.
And Phil did put in the comments, I don't know if you saw, Lee, that he said he got beached on the curb.
Oh.
And that's why he was disqualified for being parked in a quote-unquote dangerous position.
Well, that's what you get. Being parked in a dangerous place.
I do like this game. I don't know whether they're going to keep it for 23, but I like that you can get beached on this game. It's annoying. Don't get me wrong. It's really annoying, but it's more realistic, and I like that.
Yeah. Definitely. Not a fan of it, but...
I wish there was a way, instead of being disqualified, though, I wish there was a button where... Because you have it in the F1 Manager game, where you can retire the car. But we've said that for quite a long time, haven't we? When you retire in the pits, there should be a retirement in the pits option if you don't want to continue.
I know, but you need to somehow... There's only like one way to really do it properly. And that'd be like just as you're like going into like the pit lane bitty before the speed limit and that, is hit, just pause, retire right away. I think that's the only way that it doesn't let you go out.
I'm not sure if that's this year's game. I feel like it did it in last year's. Or the year
Maybe
before
that's
last now, because we're right at the end of the cycle now. It's nice. It's nicer as well. It's nicer as well. The games come out a little earlier this year, but I still don't think it's early enough compared to when like FIFA comes out with the, end of September and the football season starts mid-August.
But then again, football's easier to predict than the Formula One with how cars are. We didn't know performance and that, so. But we'll have a wee quick rundown. So AJ Baker in first, Lee Craig second, third, Chuckle Matthew was in fourth, and Chuck was in fifth. And the 5 that are being eliminated is Royal Rumble, Deejman, Mad Max, Nixa, and Phil. Fortunately, Phil getting disqualified there for being beached, which is a bit unfortunate for him. But yeah, as I was saying, like football is easier to predict because, well.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, they could bring it out sort of the start of May though, couldn't they? That still gives them sort of after pre-season testing, like 3 months.
Possibly, but I think it's worth it to just wait a little while longer till it's properly refined.
Yeah. See, the only thing I disagree with it is we're still on the old game when we're sort of getting towards thirds of the way through this season. That's kind of my only gripe, but...
Yeah, fair point.
What can you do?
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Oh, seen some movement in the Mercedes garage. Matty Jones.
Already.
Is that an Aston Martin of Prodigy or Ginge?
Got a Ferrari as well, so... Got AJ Baker in the Williams, of course, towards the end of the pit lane. Have you seen, Lee, actually, as I'm on the outlaps, have you seen the sort of renders for that Williams Golf livery? They've got people to pick for the, I think it's the Singapore Grand Prix or the Japanese Grand Prix or something.
Oh.
They've got like 5 different options and fans can pick which one's their favourite and they're going to go with it.
But that's going to be the delivery for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, for like the Japanese Grand Prix, or I think it's Singapore or Japan. It might be both. I can't remember.
Oh, quite cool. That is actually quite interesting. I'm going to look that up.
I'd love to see a golf livery, like a full-time golf livery.
Mm-hmm.
Williams, title sponsor golf, title sponsor Williams. Do it. Have you also heard the rumours that Alfa Romeo will be joining Haas next season as a title sponsor?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So, It's going to be like Haas Alfa Romeo or something, or other way about or something.
Yeah.
So what's that going to be then?
Well, Alfa Romeo, it's the last season with Sauber as a contract, so next season I'm pretty sure that it's going to be just Sauber for 2 years again, and then it's going to be changing to Audi in 2026.
But will it still be Silver? Like
Yes.
base? Oh,
Yes.
cool.
Still the DNA of Sauber, yeah. But Alfa Romeo just moved from Sauber to Haas.
Oh well.
But it's a bit of a strange one because they've obviously had that big deal with that MoneyGram title sponsor, apparently, that American company.
Oh, right.
Which they did for this season. So I'm not sure if they're going to have like Aston Martin has with like a double title sponsor, don't they? Because it's like Aston Martin, Ramco, Cognizant, Formula One team.
Yeah. Bloody mouthful, was it not?
Yeah, just a little bit. We're watching the Williams make his way around turn 9 into the final sector as he goes through the double right-hander of turn 10 and 11 and on the brakes for 12, and then we go under the hotel at turn 13 and 14. Little fun fact, this is the most expensive F1 circuit that's ever been made. Can't give you the figure, but I know it's the most expensive. As we go around the final corner, Matty Jones has set a lap time already. Is AJ Baker going to beat it? He does. 1:24.8. We had a 24 dead, I think, for the fastest time at the end of Q1. And a 24.6 for Matthew. RTG's very own Mr. Saturday.
Definitely. Josh McGill there pulling out a 1:24.9 after just pipping that ball here pretty much with a 24.936. Swanee getting the fastest there with 1:24.4. So we're already seeing the times coming down, and they're just getting quicker. Oh, Vil is off the track at turn 3. Must have had a wee kick there and ended up nearly putting it into the wall, but it looks like.
So I think up next it's going to be Chuckle, I think.
Yeah, he's just coming from, I forget, 9? Yep, 10.
Yeah, now 10 and 11 and 12 on the brakes as he goes into that hotel as well, which says Formula One powered by hybrid since 2014. As he makes his way around the final corner and down the hill and across the line, goes second fastest with a 1:24.6.
Got a Rey Mysterio, 24.619. So,
I think Bill was on a cool down lap there. He's gone again, takes turn 1 rather nicely, makes his way through turns 2 and 3. Sounded like he had a little lift there through turn 3. And Bugatti makes his way around the final corner, but then ends up sliding around that corner and facing the wrong direction, pretty much in the pit lane, or the pit entry. So we did say that final corner, that penultimate corner, is flat, but not if you don't time it right.
yeah, I would say it is one of them that you've just got to try and get right. It's just like a one line corner, really.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be using too much curb, do you, at that corner?
No.
It doesn't like it.
No, definitely not. So
the bottom three haven't set lap times just yet. And we're sort of still in the mid 124.4s. Have we got anyone else on our lap? No, Lee Craig's just about to come in. I think Bill's just completed another lap there. We've got Josh McGill out on an out lap, as well as Proddy. They're on the track together at the moment. So they must have come out at it about the same time. Now AJ Baker makes his way out onto the circuit. I'm also maybe it's not really long enough, I suppose, but I am surprised there's no DRS down the start finish straight. No, there isn't. Never has done here actually.
No, you're right. There isn't been.
It's just because I was thinking about between turns 4 and 5 having a short DRS straight, but then I thought the start finish doesn't have one. I wonder why that is.
It's one of the only ones that doesn't, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think there's many others that don't. Just trying to think. I don't think there is.
No, even Singapore, and that's about the same length, I would say.
Yeah, there or thereabouts. Maybe they thought the two long back straights were enough. Is AJ Baker now crosses the line to start his next attempt. And we've got Bugatti just about to start his lap. We'll actually concentrate on him as he's down in the bottom 5 at the moment.
He's just starting his lap.
He's just starting his lap.
Oh, right, yeah. No, it was just because it was doing that glitch thing where it says they're on the lap and then no.
Hopefully that'll change for next year. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. And hopefully a lot of things will change, but me and Lee was saying, F123 looks like it's having some good praise by content creators, but sometimes you've got to be careful with that because it can be masked with a little bit of game hype.
Yeah, I went and I was watching as we see Prodigy breaking into the 123s now. Nicely done from him. So we've seen these times ramp up quite quickly. But yeah, last night I was watching Lando Norris playing a bit of the new F1 game in Las Vegas. And he was saying that does feel like really good. Pretty much so.
Let's hope so. And the Vegas circuit, I must say, actually looks really decent. Actually,
it does.
We all mocked it for its layout, but it actually looks like it could be quite a good circuit. It looks bumpy as well, which I actually like.
Oh yeah.
How street circuits should be.
Yep, as you see, Bugatti managing to get out of the drop zones of 124.5, puts him in third, so he'll be safe now, I would imagine, unless things just ramp up out of nowhere.
So I think Ginge is on a second prep lap as Chuck goes into the 123.8 as well.
Just nimmer.
Yeah, so Vegas, bumpy circuit, I do quite like, because the street circuits are supposed to be bumpy and difficult. The one they say is the best surface on a street circuit is actually Monaco.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nice. A very, very rich place, isn't it? So I'm sure they have that resurfaced very regularly.
Fair point. Yep.
Don't want your nice Ferraris and Mercedes and all that sort of thing getting damaged by potholes, do you? You can't imagine. You can't expect that.
No, there is one thing that I do like about the Monaco track is just after the casino. When you're going downhill again,
There's
it's
the big
the
bump.
the wee bump. Well, big
Doesn't
bump.
it doesn't it doesn't affect you in the game though?
Nah, you could just go flying over it. In real life, I suppose it'd bloody break your back almost.
Break the car's back.
Yeah, fair point.
As we're watching Short Marcus make his way into the chicane in the middle of the two DRS straights, turn 6 and 7. And it's very strange, that first back straight, isn't it, Lee? Because it sort of one lane cuts off just as you get towards the braking zone.
Yeah, I've never really.
I know why.
Oh,
To make more space for a car park. Because that is really the reason.
ooh. Is that an Alfa Romeo getting in the way?
I'm not sure. Short Marcus, though, he looked pretty light when he was going through under the hotel there. He looked like he was right on the limit as he gets a decent time in. He's 124.4, so I think he'll be safe with that. We've got Josh McGill on a lap as he makes his way into the final sector. He's a second up on his lap time, so he's looking to slot himself into third place if he keeps his pace up and around the time that he's got so far as he makes his way into turn 12 and now 13 and 14, where we saw the Williams of Short Marcus getting the Alpine getting a little, it was Williams getting a little floaty around those two corners. He comes around the final corner. Josh McGill goes on to the top spot, so he improved even further in the final sector. Marcus has spun. How much time have we got left on the clock? He hasn't got enough time to go again. So Marcus will be, Matty will be out.
That is quite unfortunate for him, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. Ginge is just going to get started for a lap now. But got Andy just starting a lap also, I think.
Lee Craig just about to come around the final corner to finish his final attempt. Checker flag is just about to come out. Crosses the line before that happens. He goes up into 5th place, got 15 seconds left on the clock. And I think...
Oh, Chuckle is on a lap. I'm not sure if he went through.
I think he's trying again, Lee, actually. But he hasn't got a lot of battery, as Matthew does a 123.6, so he's certainly safe. Andy is around, looks like on the infield, around turn 3-4 as he gets himself back on the circuit, so he's retired from the session. I don't think there's a fast car behind him.
Let's see.
Ginge is making his way under the hotel.
Aye.
I don't think anyone... Josh McGill, yeah, so it's just Ginge. Ginge will be up next. He hasn't set a time in this second part of qualifying. As he makes his way around the final corner to set his one and only lap, he looks like, and he will be safe. So the only two in danger is Aki, and he looks like he's out as well, because he's not going full speed. He's 2 tenths up, is Chuckle. He hasn't really had the battery. He's about to go into low power, low modes. Crosses the line. He's safe. He's safe. He got it. He's knocked Short Marcus out.
Oh.
That was very, very good from Chuckle. Must have had an awesome final sector because he didn't have any battery left. So as we wait for Aki to be done getting himself back into the garage, we'll get underway with the final part in qualifying. But before that, actually, we'll have the rundown of these 15 drivers.
Sorry, 2 seconds.
Okay, so Matthew is on the top spot in Q2. Josh is second. Third is Chuck. Proddy is fourth. Phil is fifth. Sixth is Ginge. Seventh is Swanee. Eighth is Lee Craig. Chuckle is ninth. 10th is AJ Baker. The drivers who are out in this session are Short Marcus in 11th, Aki 12th, 13th Bugatti, Andy 14th, and Matty Jones is starting 15th. So, as we get our Q3 session underway, and we have the final 10 drivers for the pole position shootout. Have we got you back there? Not just yet. We've got Josh McGill making his way out of the garage, followed by Matthew in the Ferrari, and then we've got Lee Craig in that Mercedes. So just a very steady stream of drivers coming out of the pit lane now. As they do all like to go in sync, especially in Q3. Lee. So 9 drivers out of the garage on the track, 10 cars now out on the circuit, and Josh McGill is the first driver to start on that, followed closely by Matthew as he makes his way through the second sector. As Max says, staying off the sauce for sure in the comments, as we watch Josh McGill start his second sector, and he makes his way down towards turns 6 and 7, which is quite a tricky chicane. You've got to make sure that turn 7, the exit, is spot on, because you've got a long old way, and down towards turn 9 as you make your way through the kink of turn 8. And turn 9 is very light banked 180 degree corner, a very quick corner, and then make your way around turns 10 and 11, and then on the brakes for 12 as we were around 13 and 14, which were reprofiled. Get yourself as close to the wall without invalidating your lap, and then around the penultimate corner of 15 where he kept it nicely flat, and now through the final corner. What's the Alpine going to do? 123.9, so very respectable first lap, but Matthew smashes it out of the park with a 1:23.6. Lee Cray 1:23.9 as well. AJ Baker 24 dead. We've got an AlphaTauri, I think that's Swanee, it is. He's just crossed the line with a 24.7, so the slowest of the cars so far. Ginger's about to get him across, Proddy goes on to provisional pole with a 1:23.6 as well, but a 6:14 compared to a 6:97 for Matthew. Vil, the driver, up next. He crosses the line with a 24.8. As I think we have Lee back now, so he can take over so I can have a drink.
Yep. No worries, I'm seeing Chuck, just come across the line. He goes third with a 1:23.835. We'll have a wee check on Chuckle here as he's coming under the hotel section now. It turns 13 and 14 now. Coming up to the final couple of corners of 15 and 16 now. Comes out the final corner, we'll see what time he's going to do. He gets second place with a 1:23.675. Just a little bit off first place. And go on to Ginge for the time being, as he is yet to settle up. Just came on to the first two DRS stretch. So see how he manages to navigate the second sector. He gets through the chicane quite easily, coming onto the second DRS stretch. Managed to get out of that chicane quite nicely, get the traction down around turn 9. Got to be careful on the exit here. Manages to do it nicely there. Hard braking into turn 12, making sure to get the car rotated nicely into turns 13 and 14 under the hotel.
I think he's coming in the pits. Yeah, I think he was coming in the pits. Anyway.
He was actually going quite quickly too.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so Chuckle just about to come in. So we've got some quiet. We've got a bit of quiet out on the circuit now before it gets a little bit noisier just towards the end of qualifying.
But yeah, we've seen the times start to ramp up now.
Yeah, and they're getting closer as well, especially the top six. Certainly 3/10 between the 6 of them.
Yeah, definitely.
4/10 between the 7 of them.
So, wait. Have a wee quick look at the comments here. Seen Max saying he wasn't not sure about everyone else, but he couldn't keep the tyre temperatures down. Sorry, couldn't keep the tyre temp down. Marcus Short said he had traffic on his one and only lap, went straight on in the last sector, he lost so much time. Oh well, on to the rest.
Yeah.
It was a bit unfortunate on him. Our Monday commentator, starting in P11, if I do remember right.
Yes, I think that's right. Starting P11. So, looking forward to Spain this weekend. Just another layout change for this weekend.
Another layout change?
Yeah, they got rid of the final chicane, haven't they?
Of the oh no way!
Yeah,
Wicked.
and it's going to just did you not know that? It's just got the old, curve that looks like it'll be flat out. The final corner won't be. It'll be a little lift, I think. But yeah, they've missed out those 2 chicanes. Now they've gone back to the old layout. And I think they've extended the barrier out a little bit, so there's a bit more space if anyone goes off.
Yeah, that makes sense because the barrier is a bit close, but
Yeah,
I'm not so sure if it's a good idea. The
Sorry, go on.
gravel trap. I'm not so sure if that's a good idea. Just with like what we've seen happen to what was it again? Can't even remember. But like the hut at sideways at some speed, and it just ended up causing them to roll pretty much.
Joe last season?
I think it might have been him, yeah.
It's Silverstone, where he got caught between the catch fencing and the barrier.
Yeah.
And the tyre wall even. Well, barrier, yeah.
That's how I would say gravel traps are safe if you're going straight on. But
No, sorry, he was already rolled over, wasn't he? He was already on his back.
No, that's what I'm saying, it was some other thing I remember, but yeah.
Yeah, he got rolled over and he skidded across the track, and then it flipped him when he got onto the gravel. That might have made a difference because he was upside down,
mind you, yeah. But
it's not very often you see them flip over, do
you? True, but at high speed, I would say, like, I like the way that France has it, the Paul Ricard circuit.
Oh, it hurts my eyes though.
No, it isn't the best of looking, but I would say with it being more open.
But there's no risk, it's all reward, isn't it? It's reward or tarmac.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that. They're supposed to be the best 20 drivers in the world, aren't they?
There's some other racers out there that would possibly disagree with that. But, hey-ho.
So, haven't got Vil that's come out of the pitch. He's left that far too late. Matthew's out. I would also equally say he's maybe left that, and he knows it as well, so he's cutting the circuit, which they're allowed to do in RTG. I'm sure he's going to cut the chicane at turn 6 and 7, which surely will get him about, 8 seconds a lap time probably, so he will make it. Vil's not going to come out for another attempt, so I think Josh McGill will be up first as he makes his way around the final corner. We've got the AlphaTauri of Swanee after him, a Ferrari of Chuck after that, and then his brother Chuckle, who's backed off a little bit to give himself a bit more space. Proddy, who's on provisional pole, will be after that. We've got 30 seconds on the clock. Some of these drivers are going to have to get on with it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, let's see.
AJ Baker.
He's only got 15 seconds.
Matthew's got 10 seconds, so he's just going to make it, but he's really had to push the tyre in that outlap.
5 seconds to go and he's just made the line.
So we've got 9 drivers setting lap times, and we said up first was going to be Josh McGill, who goes even faster than he did in his previous time by 0.2 of a second. As he makes his way around the hotel section at 13 and 14, and then makes his way into the final 2 corners of 15 and 16. Is this going to put him on provisional pole? Wait and see. It does, with a 123.2. Absolutely smashed that one for 6. As Swanee crosses the line, stays 8th fastest. And then we've got Chuck, who's now entered the pit lane. His brother Chuckle making his way around the final corner. He's down on his lap time at the moment, but he does improve in the end by just over a 10th, puts him on the front row as we've got Lee Craig crossing the line. And Proddy moves on to the front row as well. Ginge makes his way across the line, moves up to 4th. AJ Baker, the penultimate man, 4th place. What's Matthew going to do? As he makes his way around the final corner, is he going to put it on pole? No, he's on the front row though.
So that was quite interesting there at the end there. So, a wee quick rundown. Seen Josh McGill, who manages to stick it on pole. Joining him on the front row is Matthew. In third and fourth is Prodigy and Chuckle. Gingin fifth. AJ Baker sixth. Lee Craig is in seventh. Chuck in eighth. Swanee came home in ninth. And Vil in 10th. So, getting ready to move on to the main event. 29 laps of this circuit.
So, we've God, I'm not sure how many laps. 26?
29.
29. Yeah, it's a bit more now, isn't it? Because it's a shorter circuit. 29 laps. We've got a full grid for you this evening. With the 50% race, it usually kind of works out in about a 45-minute race. So it is a decent stint for drivers. You do start to feel it towards the end. I'm sort of talking more towards myself. And yeah, hopefully we have done for the first three races. We'll get some great racing here. It's a great circuit to overtake on, especially between the two DRS zones.
Oh yeah, definitely. But is it worth the risk sometimes to overtake in between at that chicane?
Not usually, unless there's someone in front of them to give you DRS again. I don't think so. No, or you've just come out the pits and you've got a big tyre advantage. But
True.
yeah,
But
majority of the time, no.
Most of the time, you're better to just stay behind and just hold off.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, this circuit as well does have that's the thing you say about waiting for the second DRS zone, because you do have the two detection points. And I do prefer the tracks that have the multiple detection points rather than somewhere like Canada that the one detection. Is it Canada?
I was literally
right?
just thinking, yep, Canada. From the start of Sector 3, you could get it
And
all
Mexico
the way to
as
turn
well.
one.
Mexico's the same. Down to
Yep,
turn
that's
one.
Like, you could just overtake it there, like, just coming out the last corner, and that's it. You've got it all the way up to turn 3. No, turn 4, sorry.
4, yeah. And I think Mexico's unfair as well, because it has such a long start-finish straight.
Yeah.
That having two zones, they could change that easily, but they don't. Anyway, tyres, yeah. Mainly hard tyres. I haven't actually done the maths, but just by looking with my eyes, that's definitely we're talking 3/4 hard tyres there. I think 1, 2.
Yeah, we've only got what, 8? 1, 2, 7.
7. Yeah, so 7, and then 13 drivers on the hard tyres. So this track's certainly quite big for the degradation, and I'm assuming it will be a little bit better when the sun goes down and the track gets a bit cooler. Should be a bit better.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, I would say so.
Of course, you get the more grip in when the track's warmer, but it does wear out your tyres more. So the tyres are more obviously heated more by the sun and the track.
Yeah, definitely. And as well with softer tyres during the more cooler times, we'll be able to keep the tyre temperatures down so they don't overheat as much as well.
A little way to go until we have the sunset. And there is a point, isn't there, Lee, between turns 9 and 12, at a certain point in the race, that sun is absolutely blinding you.
Yeah. I've got to agree there, and when you've got that just staring you into your soul, I would say, it's just annoying. You can't see Jack.
Another one that's similar to that is at the end of the back straight in USA as well, in the final corner. That's another one that's horrendous as well.
It's like you've been flashbanged.
Yes, it does feel. Yeah,
Honestly, man.
I feel like I'm playing Call of Duty rather than F1. That's weird.
Is that really one?
Waiting to have the final drivers line up on the grid. We've got Phil lining up on the back row. We've got Josh McGill on pole position on your left-hand side of your screen. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. We're in the third round of RTG and we're away in Abu Dhabi. And it looks like Matthew's got a really good launch. It looks like he's going to have the inside as we go into turn 1. Chuckle has moved up a position as well. He's going to potentially look for another move on Josh McGill as we make our way down through turn 3 and 4 and on towards the hairpin at turn 5. Josh McGill having to defend from Chuckle. And as we go towards the further back in the field, we've got the Mercedes on the inside there of Ginge, and then there's contact between the McLaren and the Red Bull. I think that was Inixa and Vil who have had a coming together. And we now make our way down the DRS straight. Of course, that's not enabled yet. And Ginge trying to go up the inside, squeezes that Williams to the outside. He does give him enough room for the inside line, though, but that line out of the on the outside, out of turn 7, is worked out superbly. We now almost in the braking zone of turn 9. And we got the Williams trying to go the long way round. We saw a lot of overtakes around the outside at Brazil last week. And we've now got AJ Baker. Swanee is out. That could be a safety car already. And it is.
Yep, Phil was around there as well at turn 9, sorry. He spun out. Up until then, he managed to gain 5 places, got up in P15, the biggest gainer just there.
We have a multitude of biggest gainers on that first lap, and they're all nose to tail at the moment. Actually, Royal Rumble, Tej, and Mad Max making up 4 places at the start. We've not seen a single driver pit either on the first lap.
No, well, it would be kind of counterintuitive to be on.
Just thinking more about the damage. Yeah, no one getting apart from Swanee, who got terminal damage.
Yeah. But yeah, Phil is unfortunately the biggest loser in the first lap there. He's lost 6 places starting in P10 and unfortunately is now down in 16th.
And when we were looking at the midfield pack as well, Josh McGill made his way back into the lead after Matthew had that good start into turn 1. So that must have happened between sort of turn 6 and 7 and or potentially turn 9. I think it was turn 9. I seem to recall it moving. But apart from Swanee, it was a very good first lap of racing. It was a shame it had to end with a safety car. But we will get going again on lap 4. Because I think we'll have this lap and then the next lap and it will come in then. We'll get going again on lap 4. So we won't see DRS till lap 6.
That is a bit unfortunate, but that's the way things go sometimes.
So, I've got the predicted pit stop strategy. It's a medium to hard strategy for 1, or it was a medium hard, or the vice versa. If they're on the hard tyre, I think it's going to be more a 1-stop strategy than a 2.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, no one's pit or that, so it is looking like some of them might have to stretch. I'm not too sure. It has been a while since I've been on this track, so yeah.
The other thing I've just realised, Lee, just watching Matthew Jones at the back of the field, who's lost 4 places. This is going to be the last couple of weeks that we probably ever see the 0 side pods.
Oh yeah, Fair point, actually.
It'll be gone because it was gone at the weekend. I did see a video actually of Adrian Newey having a real good look at the Mercedes on the grid, I think.
The one thing I thought was quite funny is the memes and that were coming out about Red Bull with their floor. It was like when it was up in the air, just like everybody get a picture.
It was the Mercedes, I think, wasn't it? Or was it the Red Bull as well?
No, there was a Red Bull as well. Remember Perez?
It's the only time in the year they ever get to do that, I think.
Yeah?
I think so, because I don't think there's any other circuit that uses a big crane like that.
Ah, right.
So, safety car is in this lap. We've got Josh McGill, who's leading the way, dictating the pace, and he can get going whenever he feels like. As the safety car now peels into the pit lane, so he's got a green track ahead of him, and he gets away rather early, I think, and he's caught Matthew slightly off guard as we get back underway. Did Josh have a bit of a...
Yep, on the exit of turn 15 there, you just got a bit on the curb, innit?
Oh, we had a car round Aki. Sorry, AJ is out. Oh, and then is that someone else who's got some damage?
I'm not sure.
Thought I saw a bit of carbon go flying there. As short Marcus loses the place to Aki. And now Andy's round is Alan out. So we've lost 3 drivers in 4 laps.
And we're not going to see a safety car because it's just went in. And
No,
it's
we're not.
refueling.
As Chuckle gets by
Oh,
Matthew.
Royal Rumble going up the inside of Bugatti, the battling out of the chicane. Oh, Bugatti's just shoving, being a bit aggressive there on the exit. Now Royal Rumble's going to come back, he's going in the inside at turn 9. Oh, he decides to bail out.
But he's coming back again now as he makes his way out of turn 9 and into turn 10 as we're with the helicopter. As he make our way into turn 13, he looked at the inside just then, but I think that was just to try and put off his rival ahead. As we make our way out of turn 14 into the final 2 corners. And Josh has got a second lead as it stands.
Seville, he's definitely want to try and improve on first lap that you had. Just seen him there going right across the curb, inside curb, at turn 3 there. Trying to cut as much as he can off his line.
Royal Rumble still as close as ever to the back of the Bugatti, but this time they're not side by side. Through turn 7, Royal Rumble just trying to tuck behind, get the slipstream, get the battery deployed as he makes his way to the left hand side, and on the inside he goes. As we exit the corner, he's up into 10th place.
Nicely done there from the Alpine driver.
We're going to see Vilt go up the inside at turn 13. Gets very close to the back of that AlphaTauri though.
I think there could have been a little bit of contact there, but everyone gets away from that quite nicely.
So we now have DRS enabled on lap 6, and 2 drivers fighting for the lead. We're getting closer together, close enough, but Chuckle will have the DRS just out of this corner here, turn 5. And he gets on the power. Of course, he will have the DRS for good measure and as a serious aid. He is closing, but it does look like Josh McGill's got a quick car in the straight line. We make our way a bit further back.
See Chuck just getting past Ginge there. Oh, and Vil finally getting past Mad Max there.
But he does do it at turn 6 and 7, and does that mean that Mad Max will be able to return the favour? But he does have DRS off his teammate Vil. Teachman giving him a bit of help.
Yep, nicely done there. He'll be wanting to try and help his teammate pull away from Mad Max, and hopefully they'll work together in an effort to get up the field.
So as we're back with the leaders, as we've got a yellow flag in the final corner. I think that's Phil who now
Matthew and Prodigy swapping places.
Or are they? His Proddy seems like he's got a really decent exit. It's going to be a drag down towards turn 6, but Matthew has that DRS aid, and now Lee Craig starting to close that gap, and looks like Prodigy might be vulnerable here as we go into turn 6. He's able to hold on for the time being. He will now have the DRS to defend against the driver we're riding on board with at the moment, Lee Craig, and he might even be able to go on the attack for the driver who just passed him a couple of corners before, but doesn't have the legs to get alongside.
Not unfortunately. Matthew managed to get that gap just enough, and I think he used about his deployment there to manage to keep away and take advantage of what he couldn't really have, really, and that was DRS.
So as I said, not sure why we don't have a bit of a DRS zone down this front straight, but we will do in a few corners time. And Chuckle still holding on to the coattails of Josh McGill, and Matty Jones is now spun at the final corner, and he looks like he's lost a bit of his front wing.
Oh, you silly goose.
Proddy closing that gap as Josh McGill extends his gap to Chuckle behind, but Proddy not able to get close enough as we see Lee Craig getting really late on the brake zone. Looks like he closed the gap in the braking zone as we've got a yellow flag once again. That's Phil, who did enter the pits last time around, but I think he's going to keep on going as our championship leader at the moment, Short Marcus, is down in 8th place.
The McLarens are swapping places here. Vil's on the outside of Teachman at turn 9. They're actually battling it out instead of working together, so it's no holds barred in the McLaren garage. Oh, and Vil getting right close to the back of Teachman there at turn 12. He's coming under the hotel section, and is that Prodigy who's around?
I think he is. He is. Yeah. And he's going to carry on.
So Vil managing to just get past there and get ahead, so he's up to 12 now.
So Josh and Chuckle have been extending their lead at the front. Matthew hasn't been able to respond. Josh still looking pretty comfortable in the lead, even though he's had that Alfa Romeo fully in his mirrors for the entirety of the race so far.
Oh no. Looking out for this battle for 9th. Oh. Battle for 9th place, it looks like. Oh, Prodigy's managed to get past Vil there. Teachman Bugatti and Royal Rumble. It looked like there was going to be a close battle there, but it looks like flag. Is that Phil? Phil, sorry. Yeah, he's retiring as he's just coming into the pits now. He's a lap down. I think he could be. Yep, he's retired. That's a bit unfortunate there.
Looking at the track map, Lee, we've got two big trains of cars at the moment. I don't know if you've got the full track map up, but there's two big trains. One that's slightly more extended than the other. The championship leader has spun, and that was at turn 3, I think.
Yep, turn 3.
Lost a few places, almost a handful of places there, but he was able to hold on to 12th place. But he is now under threat from Vil behind. His tyres may be, as Lee likes to call them, a little bit toasty, but he does have the DRS, so he's able to maintain that 12th place and hopefully extend on it after that little mishap he had in turn 3.
Yeah, to be honest, I was on board with Aki just as he spun, and I was expecting a big crash, forgetting Ghostin was on, and yeah, so that was what I kind of went like at it. But yeah, seen the back, we got a slowing right on the tail goats of Royal Rumble just ahead, the Alpine.
And Lee Craig first into the pits.
Oh.
So on the medium tyre, so he'll probably go onto the hard tyre, I presume.
Royal Rumble as well.
Yeah, so that's a bit earlier than I thought. I thought we'd been waiting another 2 or 3 laps, but... Always Prodigy has now made another error at between turns 1 and 2. And he's now down in 12th. Seems like everyone who spins today ends up in 12th place. And Chuckle has taken the lead. And Josh McGill, eager to get back, has had an error, but he's using battery. He's got the DRS to close that gap back down to try and fight another day. Matthew Jones is 16th and last, but he's able to get the fastest lap of the race on lap 11. So, very interesting now. We're going to see probably Tej, I think, coming this lap. Maybe the next. And we're going to see the hard runners go on for about 6 or 7 laps, I think, before they'll change for the mediums.
Quite possibly.
Lap 18, lap 19, I think they'll pit, something like that.
Nah, I expect it to be a wee bit earlier than that. As the tyre degradation will be down. Oh, we've seen Josh McGill coming back at Chuckle. Oh, there's a little bit of contact between the two of them as they were heading down the straight.
And Chuckle is now going to have the DRS back at Josh McGill. And is he going to be aggressive, as aggressive as Josh McGill was in the preceding corners? But he has to stay behind as he didn't have the pace to try the overtake at turn 9.
Oh, seen Prodigy going for it. Nicely done. Managed to get that position up on Mad Max.
So, go back to just refresh our memories on who's on what tyre. So, we're still waiting for Bugatti to pit. Tej as well. Short Marcus is in 8th. He's on the hard tyre. And we're seeing Bugatti and Tej. Tej almost couldn't get the car stopped there as he was coming into the pits. And his teammate is pit as well. Lack of communication there for the McLarens. He's been held up big time there. The pit stop is quicker than it used to be, Lee. But he's certainly lost 4 or 5 seconds there, the McLaren of Vil.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was going to hinder him quite a bit with the double stack, but hey ho, it seems Prodigy going to be able to get up close enough to Ake and be able to take that 7th place. He's closing in on him. He's deciding to hold back a little.
Like we said,
Just hit.
wait.
Yep. Waiting for that turn 9 for the second DRS zone. So see if he's going to be able to manage to pull it off. It is a bit of a risk reward type one, but it looks like he's going for it. Into turn 9, he's got the outside line. He's just managing to get him and just managed to get ahead. Nicely done there from Prodigy and the Aston Martin, moving up into 7th place.
So the top 9 are all yet to stop. So keep an eye on that. That will certainly be an interesting decision they'll have to make in the coming laps, with Lee Craig, the first driver. I think he was the first driver to stop, actually. And he pitted 3 laps ago, so should be closing the gap on Mad Max. As the field is just starting to spread out a bit more, we do see this sort of mid-race, which is exactly...
As it went again.
Yeah, did you hear it, do you?
No, I just had to go silent. As you were like halfway through speaking, so...
Yeah.
I forgot to remind you to turn it off.
Oh yeah,
So,
I forgot to remind myself, so don't worry. As
that's my fault then.
we're seeing the 2 Ferraris, they almost look like they're working together at the moment, but they're not able to close the gap on the front 2. It just doesn't look like they have the pace to match them. But are they going to Leah, the Ferrari's going to play friendly until we get sort of into the final quarter of the race, where they're both going to be fighting for that last step on the podium?
I mean, possibly I would say one of the best things to do would be for Matthew to possibly slow up just that little tiny bit, make sure that his teammate manages to get the DRS and they could work together in managing to get back up into territory for possibly fighting for a second and first. As we see Chuck managing to get that DRS. He's managed to catch up a little bit. Is he going to manage to get the second DRS? We'll find out. Yep, it looks like he is. So this is going to help him out quite a bit. And that should not.
So it's really not going to be long now till we see that the top 9 drivers pit, who are the only drivers who haven't stopped yet, and some of them I'm sure are going to be praying to the safety car gods.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, wouldn't you if you were a bit further down
Chuck is the first one who started on the hards to pull the trigger.
Now, is this going to work? Because he could get a good undercut on the rest of them, and especially with them going on the medium tyres.
And is Matthew going to be the next one to respond? And also, where's Chuck going to come out here? It looks like we've got Mad Max making his way. We've got Proddy, who's spun again. But that's not going to cause a safety car. And Chuck is alongside Mad Max as he comes out of the pit lane, and And Max lifts off the throttles, let him go by him. Pretty sure that's so he can have the DRS himself. Lee Craig has also made up a lot of time to be a big threat for Mad Max, but of course he's going to have to pit in the next lap or two. As Chuck made a really good call here, or has he gone just slightly early? And we'll see if Matthew, as they're coming through the final sector under the hotel, we'll see if any of these top four do decide to pit. Front two stay out for a little bit longer, and Matthew now, responds to his teammate. Ginge stays out.
We'll be able to see, because the gap was just under a second. So we'll be able to see how it is. Short Marcus is into the pits also. So we'll see where Chuck is going to be able to come out.
Matthew is just about to exit the pit lane, but of course he's got to negotiate the unique pit lane here under the tunnel, under the track, through the tunnel. So he makes his way back up. This is going to be closely. It's very close, actually. But I think Chuck has got ahead, and he's going to have the tyres up to temperature. Matthew's going to have a sketchy first few corners. So, but that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and looking at the gap to first place right now, he could possibly manage to get this undercut and maybe even get the first.
Maybe. Let's see what the lead is. 23 seconds. It's going to be closer. If the top two stay out for another lap, I think he's got a chance. But of course, they're going to have 2-3 lap fresher tyres. We'll see if Josh McGill makes his way into the pits. He does. Chuckle says, if you're going to do that, Josh, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just sticking with you for the rest of the race. As Ginge stays out for one more lap. So that might give Chuck an opportunity for another, for Ginge's spot. But I think that was already going to happen anyway. He was behind him before the pit stops started. It's Chuck and Matthew, who are still as close as they were before the pit stops happened, and now making their way across the line. Chuck takes the fastest lap as the drivers who were in the lead now come out of the pit lanes. Chuck makes his way through turn 3. He's going to see the Alfa Romeo and the Williams, the Alfa Romeo and the Williams just ahead of them.
Alpine.
The Alpine just ahead of them. Thank you.
I get mixed up all the time. You know?
Yeah, it's the colours. This year we're going to get the logos.
That's good then.
Yeah, so we shouldn't ever get confused. We probably will, but we shouldn't. As we see Matthew now go out the inside of his teammate. So the pit stops are over now, teammate, and the gloves are off. And Chuck knows it, so he's going to try and get a good launch out of turn 7 to go through the kink of 8 and down towards turn 9. The Scarlet Red Ferraris now switching places once again. So Ginge surely going to come in this lap. But
Bugatti and Teachman are battling out. They're side by side going into turn 9. Bugatti's on the inside, Teachman is on the outside. Teachman is doing the switchback here. And is he going to manage to get it? They're still side by side coming around turn 10, 11. Oh, and that looked a bit cheeky there from Bugatti. Running Teach out of room there, going around turn 11 there. And there's Ginge into the pits now. He's
just on the pit exit. And I think
and
he's going to
past him.
Yeah, and I think Ginge will come out in 6th place. Yes, Lee Craig is past him, but he's not far down the road. We've still got 10, 11 laps to go. And he is on the softer compound tyre and far, far newer as well. So watch your space. I think Ginge is going to be hunting down that 5th place for the rest of the race. Is the two teammates still fighting for that podium position, and first and second fighting for
Marcus,
the top spot.
Going past not 1 but 2, moving up from 10th to 8th. And yeah, he managed to get the Tiedemann and Bugatti, but now Bugatti is going to have the DRS back, but unfortunately just a little bit further behind. Looked like he was going to go for it there, to be honest, into turn 9, but decided he was too far behind. I just caught that there.
So as Josh McGill sets the fastest lap of the race, the front two once again pulling away from the two Ferraris. They have just got, they just look like they're on rails this whole race, the front two, and certainly having a good day so far. And as they pitted at the same time, neither of them have a bigger tyre advantage than the other. We didn't have a safety car, so they...
Looks like they're swapping places now. Matthew just having so much more battery plus the DRS. Looks like they could be possibly doing this to try and help each other out. Or, I'm not sure if they're battling.
Not too sure. I think they'll probably be in a party together, would be my guess. Maybe they're just both concentrating on that third place for now. Maybe the two leaders are just slightly out of their pace remit at the moment. As we're about to go on to lap 21, I think we've had every driver pit now. We have, and the field is now spread out a little bit more, but we certainly have a few drivers in the midfield who are quite close together. There's just outside of DRS windows, so drivers are trying to make up the time in that sector 2 and 3, mainly 3, as it is a twisty part of the circuit. But we're still seeing this battle for all podium positions, Lee.
Yep, definitely. I mean, the Ferraris could be battling it out. I'm not so sure if they're going to be working as a team, but then we've got Chuckle and Josh McGill battling out for that first position. So we've got about 8 laps to go. Still anyone's guess as to who's going to be able to get it. Looks like Ginge is getting close to the back of Lee Craig's short Marcus, getting to the back of Royal Rumble for that 7th position.
Yeah, so the race is just died down a little bit. We're simmering before we get to the boiling point before the end of this stint in the race. The sun is pretty much now well, it's gone over the horizon. We haven't got dark skies yet. We'll have that in a few laps' time. So this is the time, Lee, where stress is becoming more apparent. But as we said at the start of the race, the tyres will feel a bit better in this second stint, as well as the car, of course, being a lot lighter. This is one of those unique circuits where we go from daylight to dusk, and then sort of we get more into a full night sky in the 50%, but only a few laps to go.
So it just looks like Ginger's going for the overtake on Lee Craig. The medium tyres proving far superior to them old hards at the moment. So,
and Short Marcus
managing to make it up past Royal Rumble. They're into 7th. Okay, flying past Ville there to move up into 11th place. Now, Short Marcus 7 seconds off Lee Craig ahead, as if he's going to be able to get it with having them 5 lap old medium tyres versus the 11 lap old hards.
So as we see, Chuck will make his way out, as well as Josh McGill, out of turn 5. Still all podium positions up for grabs here, as they're all within DRS range. Obviously, top 2 are, and then 3rd and 4th are together. There's a bit of a gap between 2nd and 3rd. And the field spread is just a bit greater now than it has been. Lee Craig just losing some more ground to Ginge, obviously on those 4-lap old mediums, the newest tyre, the freshest tyre on the track until now, actually, as we've got Matty Jones and Inexa both pitting for the soft. So I think that might be going for fastest lap, though.
Yep, quite possibly. I mean, I think that's both their second stop. And soft at this track, wouldn't you? Keep an eye on them, we'll see.
Oh, Chuckle. 3-second time penalty. Ooh. That's not what he needed. He's pretty much gifted that win now to Josh McGill. And of course, the other thing he's going to have to consider now, Lee, Matthew's going to know about it, as well as Chuck. Has he given up that second place potentially? Because they're going to have a new lease of life, those Ferraris.
Yeah, definitely, knowing that that's all up for grabs now. The question is the Ferrari's going to be able to get into that window? Because now the best thing to do for both of them would be to work together and reduce that deficit to second place. And then they can maybe even get second and third and both be on the podium. As we're seeing, Ake is going up the outside of Tiedemann, going into turn, I forget, 6, into the chicane. But Tiedemann man just hold off. Ake's now has got the DRS again, going into turn 9, he goes up the outside. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he does. They're side by side going around turn 9. And Ake manages to get the move done around the outside of Tiedemann at turn 9. Nicely done there from the Alfa Romeo driver, moving up into 10th position. Melville is right on the gearbox of Tiedemann.
He certainly is. He's under threat now. And he's going to be under threat into turn 1 as he makes a big mistake and his teammate actually just backs off and waits. But is waiting going to be doing him any favours? Is that McLaren is very, very tail happy.
Yep, definitely.
Inexa getting a time penalty.
Oh, and Tiedeman's round.
I don't think that will cause us.
Like you said, very tail happy as he was coming out of turn 4. Now he's lost the position to the Alpha Tauri of Mad Max.
And Proddy. Or is he going to lose position to Proddy? I think he is, because he's spun. His tyres are going to be quite warm. So he's just going to have to take it easy for a couple of quarters. Of course, having the straights between these long back straights is going to help those tyres cool down to the optimal temperature. Safety car deployed.
Nexa. He's spun at turn 2, just going into turn 3.
Well, now doesn't that make it interesting? Everyone's going to go on the softs. We're going to have sort of might have a bit of a mini sprint here, Lee. As Bugatti stays out. I think wise with the penalty that he has. That's made the end of this race very interesting. I'm sure Chuckle was going to be furious.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's this brings the Ferraris right back into it. Whether they're going to manage to be able to get up there.
And this is going to be a very, very quick safety car as well. It's got to be. It's got to be quick. We haven't got many laps to go. Is Josh Miguel going to stay out, or are they going to come in? Are they aware of the drivers behind who have already dived in? Josh Miguel's decided to come in. Chuckle stayed out, so he's going to lead the way after the safety car restart. Matthew stays out as well. And obviously after that is Bugatti, who didn't pit and decided to take the track position because he had I think it's a 3-second time penalty. We'll just make sure, 3 seconds. Everyone who has got a time penalty with that black and white flag next to their name have all got 3 seconds as it stands, so nice and easy to remember. As Josh comes out the pits, he's now in 3rd place. And this certainly is, as Bugatti now pits. I don't understand that.
Oh well, but we see Matthew and Chuckle both stayed out on the mediums. Now, I think Matthew might have just pulled off a belter.
He may have done here because
if he could manage
safety
to
car
hold
in
off
this
for
lap.
2 laps.
And we've got the drivers who pit on the soft tyres. I think because we've got a long 3rd sector here, Lee, a lot of them are going to catch back up again, I believe. But I think it's in Chuckle's prerogative here to go really early as he possibly can.
Yeah, he'll need to make up that gap as quickly as he could.
Not just with the drivers who are just behind him, but all the drivers who are now racing to catch to the back of the queue.
Yeah, definitely.
And it looks like we've got Short Marcus who's caught up to the back of the queue now, just about. We may get Royal Rumble as well, but a few of them are not going to be involved. Chuckle still hasn't gone, Matthew. He's spun. We're going to have 2 laps to go. And Josh has got Chuckle's got a 2-second lead over Josh as we go into turn 1.
Yeah, that was due to Matty Jones just ahead. The lapped car down on Matthew. It was in between Chuckle and the Ferrari, and just got in the way, really. And then Matthew got just on the throttle just a bit too much. Well, in the car, it looks the Royal Rumble was even managing to get past. Due to the tyre advantage.
And it looks like Short Marcus is going to go up the inside of Lee Craig as they go into turn 6. He's got the outside line for turn 7. He makes it work. Makes it good as we got Matthew and Royal Rumble scrapping for position. Matthew obviously on the medium tyres. And I think he's just everyone's prey right now.
Yep, there's not really much of a chance. Tiedemann there, the yellow flag in the middle of the straight, which is pretty unusual. Matthew's just fallen down the order now.
Yeah, and we're going to go on to the final lap. Chuckle is leading, but he's got a 3-second time penalty. He's going to drop off the podium, but how far down is he going to be? And Chuck,
as of now, 4th.
Chuck is desperately trying to catch back up because there's a win up for grabs and he gets into the DRS race. But of course, I just thought as soon as I said it, there's no DRS as we only had 2 laps towards the end. Josh McGill getting closer and closer, and he's going to try and take the lead on the final lap. There's only one way to win it, really, and that's by crossing the line first. As he looks like he's easily going to breeze past that Alfa Romeo. But now the Alfa Romeo goes up the inside on him and they bang wheels, and Josh McGill stays in the lead, and looks like Chuckle is going to fight back on the final lap. Such a shame that he's got a 3-second time penalty, but I think those medium tyres are really finished work for the day. And they're out of path is Bugatti.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah.
Going around the outside of Matthew there. Superior grip on them soft compound tyres.
As Josh McGill makes his way around the final corner, he put it on pole for that extra point, and he gets the win in Abu Dhabi, and potentially takes the lead in the championship with his second win, the first driver to take 2 wins this season, with Chuck in second. Third was Ginge. Short Marcus finished 4th in the end, good recovery drive, and Chuckle fell down to 5th.
Yeah. The sheer Royal Rumble is up 9 places. Short Marcus managing to get up 7, up into 4th position. Nicely done.
So, we didn't talk about it in the race because it got all exciting towards the end. Driver of the day. I'm going to say Short Marcus for that recovery drive, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going a bit different. I'm going a bit different. We usually go with the driver like Royal Rumble who made up the most amount of places, but it's not all about that. It's about learning from mistakes as well, I think. So, if that's okay with you? I think Short Marcus.
I agree. I mean, from that unfortunate qualifying that he done in Q2, managing to recover from that, nicely done. From him, seen the top 3 coming out onto the podium now. So, I have a wee quick rundown of the finishing order. We've got Josh McGill managing to come home in first, Chuck in second, and Ginge in third. Short Marcus came home in fourth, Chuckle, unfortunately, with that penalty. In fifth, Lee Craig sixth. Seventh was Royal Rumble. Aki was in eighth. Bugatti Sloven ninth. Matthew in 10th. 11th was Vil. Mad Max was 12th. Prodigy was 13th. 14th was Tidgeman. Matty Jones in 15th. Nixa in 16th. And 17th was, he didn't finish, unfortunately, was Phil. And AJ Baker and Swanee. So yeah, there was plenty overtaken there.
Yeah, it was a good one. Hopefully next week, Lee, we'll have another good one because it's home race next week.
Ooh, Silverstone.
Silverstone, indeed.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's one of the best circuits. But it was voted in real life the best race of the season last year.
I would say so.
It was a cracking race, and then tomorrow we got another cracker. We got Bahrain tomorrow night.
Oh yay!
Yeah, so that one's always a good one to commentate on. Apologies for the lack of content this week. So I've been busy and on Instagram, but it will all be back up and running this week. Hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 videos out tomorrow. Definitely 1, hopefully 2. So that'll be Monday and Wednesday last week, and we'll go from there. So thanks very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And we will... I've just lost my brain there. It's getting late. It's past my bedtime. Yeah, so please subscribe to the channel, like the video, Click the notification bell if you want to watch the uploads, like moments of the week. If you're in the Discord or watching the video for moments of the week, let us know which one was your favourite, just to get a gauge if I'm getting right or not. Anyway, yeah, just let us know about that. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Bahrain Grand Prix with another full qualifying session in the Thursday tier at 8 o'clock. So till then, it's goodbye from me and Lee.
And it's peace out from me.